arrested Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has told the Supreme Court that he is willing to furnish an undertaking to not sign any official files if released on an interim bail in the excise policy scam. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has reserved the order in this particular case, but it was a hot day, if we can call it the least, in the Supreme Court as well. There were a number of arguments that went back and forth. The Supreme Court, in fact, also pulled up the ED, saying that when it comes to deciding between innocence and guilt, why has the guilt been focused on a lot more in Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's case? The court also went on to say that he should be released, or ideally ought to be released, for the sake of his constituents. Ayush Sharma, my colleague, is joining us at this point in time to give us more details about this. Ayush, if you can hear me? Ayush?
Yes, Vinit, you are audible.
All right. Well, from the looks of it and from what we have heard of, the comments coming out of the Supreme Court, it seems more than likely that Arvind Kejriwal just might get bail, but under some stringent conditions. He'll still be the Chief Minister of Delhi, Ayush, but he will not be able to sign any official files, pass any order. He can just campaign.
Well, yes, that's what exactly court is concerned of. The court is saying that if Arvind Kejriwal can sign files or can issue advisory or notices to department, he can directly or indirectly affect the excise and the money laundering case in the alleged liquor policy scam. And that's what court is saying, that if CM exercises his full-fledged powers, he can either cancellate any evidence or he can destroy or tarnish the evidence related to that particular case. However, the lawyer for Arvind Kejriwal is saying that, and he said that earlier in High Court also, that since the evidence are already in custody of ED, so if Arvind Kejriwal can get bail and he can continue his work in office, he cannot tarnish or can cascade any such evidence which is related to that particular case, since that evidence is already in custody with the ED. But however, when we go back to Gurshan Singh versus State of Delhi case, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta is saying that Arvind Kejriwal can't get bail since he is the Chief Minister. He can directly affect the case, and in that particular case also the Supreme Court stated that the accused can affect Sanjay Gandhi directly. That's why their bail has been denied. They can exercise their freedom of power. But as of now, the Supreme Court here is in looks like they are in mood of giving bail to Arvind Kejriwal.
But Ayush, in fact, the prosecution also went on to tell the Supreme Court that if this is done, it is going to set a bad example. It's going to set a bad precedent in this case, to which, of course, the Supreme Court also lashed out.
Well, absolutely. When it comes to the Section 45 of the PMLA Act, there comes only two cases that the accused can get bail. First, that the accused can convince the honorary court and the honorary bench that the accused is not directly linked to that case, and he, being outside of the custody, cannot affect any evidence or any such person relating to that case. And secondly, the second option is that the federal agency, where in this case is ED, the ED or the federal agency thinks that the accused, if released from the custody, cannot affect or directly involve in any such proceedings with the case. However, both these conditions do not apply with Arvind Kejriwal, since he is the Chief Minister. That's what court is concerned of, that since he being the authoritative power of the Chief Minister, he can affect or can cascade any files or any such evidence relating to the alleged excise policy case. Yes.
Okay. You stay with us. In fact, Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, is with me on the studio. Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, also joins us on the broadcast. In fact, Joyita, your opinion on what's going on in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court went on to observe that, this is something which is possible. Arvind Kejriwal could come out. They also observed, when Abhishek Manu Singhvi went on to say that, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is not a habitual offender. Then why should he be treated like a criminal?
Well, the thing is that then he should be released, isn't it? If he is not a habitual offender, if he is not going to be treated like a criminal, why is he even in jail? He should be acquitted in all cases and he should be released altogether. So I don't understand what is this drama going on in terms of this legal process, and I'll go ahead, release him completely. I think that's the only way you can handle it then.
Okay. All right. Justice Khanna, in fact, went on to make a number of observations. He went on to say in this judgment deals with conviction. We have the majority view. Conviction leads to certain consequences which are different. And Justice Datta went on to say that the majority held that irreversible consequences have to be borne in mind. He was allowed to have his full tenure as a parliamentarian. In fact, a final order was also discussed, but it's been put on hold for now. An interim order will be forthcoming very soon. In fact, Rajalakshmi, the Supreme Court leaning very heavily towards giving Arvind Kejriwal some sort of a reprieve here. He's been locked up in Tihar jail for quite some time, but it seems that the legal process is falling towards Arvind Kejriwal.
Good afternoon, Vineet. Actually, any of this, I don't think it in any way indicates that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is innocent. So he is being given, or what is under consideration is an interim bail. It's not even a permanent bail. So this is something that is of a very temporary nature, and that also it will come with a lot of terms and conditions. Maybe it will be only probably for the cause of campaigning for the elections, and he might not even be able to perform his duties as the chief minister. I think that is what I understand from whatever has been the proceedings, in the Supreme Court. So this, I think, the reason why he is being given this interim bail is because, his charges have not been proved as such, but the ED has been constantly saying that they have definitely a lot of proof. They have enough evidence to show that he is definitely guilty of all that he has been accused of. So it isn't as if he is being let off, and not even as if he is being given bail. Bail is a norm in our justice procedures. So it is that is the first thing that normally is considered. And here he was denied bail, and even now he's not been given a proper bail also. So this is just an interim so that he can be, he being the chief minister.
Okay, Rajalakshmi, what we're learning at this point in time is that the court has resumed hearing, and they might consider an interim bail for Arvind Kejriwal. The final order is obviously not going to be passed, but an interim order is going to be considered. Justice Khanna went on to say, we are not going by whether it is a politician or not. Every individual has some special or exceptional circumstances. We are considering whether exception is required in view of these ongoing elections. Advocate Chandni Preeti Shah also with us on the program. Chandni, what's going on in court is perhaps also exceptional. Arvind Kejriwal might just come out because the court considers that this is an exceptional circumstance, and Arvind Kejriwal can go out for the sake of his party, for the sake of his constituents. It's the Lok Sabha elections. He's had proxies advocating him. He's had people who are in fact not him going out on rallies, and that definitely is harming the Aam Aadmi Party's electoral prospects as well. And that is also something, a big facet, which is being kept in mind.
Yes, we need. Actually, there's a very key difference between interim bail and normal bail. It's interim is granted temporarily. And in this case, the Supreme Court has said that because it is the Lok Sabha elections, which is once in 5 years, that is why they may consider giving him the interim bail. But they have also kept the condition that he would not discharge if given, if they consider giving him any interim bail, then they have said that Kejriwal cannot discharge any official duties, otherwise it will have cascading effects. So it is very important that, and it's not like that Arvind Kejriwal has stopped being a CM from inside the jail. So the ED obviously will oppose this, bail, if the bail hearing or the bail plea that if given, this would send a wrong message to the common people. But then again, Supreme Court, the observation of Supreme Court, which says that Kejriwal is a sitting CM, and because it's the Lok Sabha elections, they might give him bail for maybe 15 days or 20 days, but that does not take away the facts that the ED has given a lot of information and a lot of data to the Supreme Court, on basis of which the Supreme Court till date has not permitted any bail to Arvind Kejriwal. So, very legally speaking, interim bail given to Kejriwal is not going to have a lot of effect on the main case, because this is only and only pertaining to the Lok Sabha elections. It has nothing to do with the ongoing case that is going on.
All right. In fact, Jimsa, the court proceedings, we're learning from the Solicitor General that they say that if an exception is made in this case, then, if you have a laborer or a kirana owner coming tomorrow and asking for the same exception, it cannot be denied. Are they trying to say that just because he's a chief minister, probably he's getting some special treatment?
Right. Vineet, thank you for having me. And to your question, yes, they are directly implying that he is getting the kind of reprieve that the Supreme Court might hand over, only because he is a sitting chief minister of a state. That being said, the Supreme Court had an interesting observation. They had told specifically that it's not like a harvest where you can come out every 5 or 6 months. Elections happen every 5 years. So to give due credit to the Supreme Court, they are considering all the ifs and buts, and let's hope that the right decision is taken.
Joyita, what do you make of the recent most observations and statements that have come out of the Supreme Court? Mr. Mehta also went on to say that Kejriwal has no ministry, no portfolio, no signature will be required, no responsibility. In fact, that is something which should have been said by Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
Yes, you are absolutely right. And frankly, it is really weird. Now, here you have a chief minister and who doesn't sign any files, who doesn't have any portfolio. I don't remember any other chief minister, even, or minister for that matter, with this kind of, no responsibility whatsoever. So, and at the same time, this is one of the reasons why I think, that they can argue a chief minister is needed to campaign for his party. I think that is also one of the reasons why Kejriwal never resigned. Because if you are looking at, say, somebody like Hemant Soren, I think he also has got bail, but he is no longer the chief minister. So the whole point is that, you see, they never know, no chief minister, any minister for that matter, no one retains their portfolio once they have been sent to jail. But the very fact that Kejriwal did it, that became a point of argument for that, that the chief minister should be allowed to campaign and all. The thing is that, yes, if they are doing it, they will have to do every political leader, whoever is locked up, okay, and whoever is going to jail. Say, for example, what happened with Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. Lalu Prasad Yadav was never released. And you see what happened because of that. One of the reasons why the RJD has been in trouble was that Lalu Prasad Yadav was not released. So why wasn't that provision also, applied in his case? So the minute you start saying such things, every political leader who is locked up for certain reasons, and that could be anything, from murder to God knows what. This gentleman is of course locked up for graft, on charges of graft. So everybody will come and say, see, this is the precedent you have set, so you have to give us bail now. So let us see whether this judgment is going to open up a Pandora's box or not.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.